If you're fully present, you're happy, you're content, you're at peace. There's a sense of freedom, fulfillment, desirelessness. You don't want anything. There's no scarcity, there's no lack, nothing's missing. It just is. And if you look closely, when you're fully present, who you think you are is not there. When you could say when you're fully present, there's just the present moment, but there's no who you think you are. There's no mind-made sense of self. There's no separate self that says, I'm in the present moment. That thought arises when you're not present. Because when you're fully present, you're not thinking. When you're not fully present, that's when the thought comes. I was in the moment. But you can say when you're in the moment, there's no thought that says, I'm in the moment. That's why when you're experiencing the flow state, there's just the flow. There's no separate self that's doing anything. There's just the experience itself. That the experiencer and the experience and the experiencing actually all collapse. They merge into one. It's actually the dissolution of the separate self in the present moment. And that's desirelessness, that you don't desire anything. There's no separate self that desires something. But it's this thought, this mind identification that pulls you out of the present moment, you could say. That takes you away from the present moment. Because it's always a thought about a goal in the future, as all goals are in the future. Something else that you need because there's now this lack, this sense of lack that something's missing. Something needs to be fulfilled. Which then makes you strive for something in the future. And that's really one of the ways the ego, the sense of being a separate self, is maintained with this past and future. But the present moment, there is no past and future, obviously. So there actually is no separate self that's experienced in the present moment. So even to say that you're in the present moment is not quite accurate. Because it's not you're in the present moment. The truth is that you are the present moment. And when you look closely, there's just this present moment. That's all there ever is. And it's not like you're going in the present moment and coming out of the present moment. It feels that way. But what's really happening is the sense of self is appearing and disappearing. You're not going into the present moment and coming out of the present moment. There's just the present moment. But the sense of self only exists in the past and the future. And really the past and the future is thought. It's thought that creates a sense of past and future. It's thought that creates time. The present moment, the present, is timeless. The present moment, the now, is the eternal now. It's eternity. And it feels like we step out of eternity and become this separate character. that's now on a timeline, that has a past, that's been somewhere, and has a future. It's going somewhere. But if you pay close attention to those times when you're just in awe, watching a sunset, you're just admiring the beauty of a forest, you're just smiling, looking at a baby smile, you realize that those moments are timeless. There's no time. The mind kind of comes back online and it kind of tries to construct a concept. It's like, wow, yeah, I guess time froze. Everything stood still. But really, that sense of self was not there. It kind of shows up after, pretending that it was there in that moment. But when you look closely, it's not there. You could say that when you're present, who you think you are is absent. They're like, it's like an inverse relationship. When the sense of self is present, then you would just say that you're not present. You're not in the present moment. You would say that you're stuck in your head thinking. Because that's what's constructing that separate self. It's thought. It's made out of thoughts, feelings, sense perceptions. And you just have to look closely at your experience, because we all experience those times when you hug someone that you really love and it's like you dissolve and they dissolve as well, and there's just love. It's like the two melt and there's just love. There's no you that's possessing the love. There's no you that's creating the love. When you look at it, it's like you disappear. You dissolve in love. And it's very similar to watching a sunset or walking in a forest. It's just it's like you dissolve in beauty. You dissolve in happiness. A baby's happy and you're smiling at the baby and you're happy. Baby's happy and you're happy, and there's just happiness. There's no you that's holding on to happiness. There's no you that's possessing happiness. Happiness, love, peace, freedom. This is your true nature. They're not personal. They don't belong to anyone. Happiness, love, peace, freedom does not belong to anyone. It's actually your true nature. The happiness, the love, the peace, and the freedom, they're timeless. They don't come and go. It doesn't change. It doesn't appear and disappear. If you look very closely, it's who you think you are that's changing. It's who you think you are that's coming and going. It's who you think you are that's appearing and disappearing. But the happiness, the love, the peace, the freedom, it's not changing. It's always present. But who you think you are is not always present. And it just takes looking very closely at your own experience. It's not something to believe. It's just to examine your own experience. And you can look at those experiences of being in nature or being around a baby or hugging or kissing a loved one, or just flowing in your work or your art or your craft or your sport. That it's after that timeless moment, there's a thought that appears that then starts narrating about the sunset, that then starts saying how happy they were snowboarding or water skiing or running. And that's what I mean. Where was it? There was happiness that was experienced, or love that was experienced, or peace, or freedom, or all of it all at once. And then there's the thought that comes in after. It's like that thought kind of ruins it. It's like, who's this guy? Damn it, I was just in the flow state. As soon as I said, wow, I'm in the flow state, then I'm not in the flow state. I was good. I was at peace. I was just relaxing. But now the thought came up. You can't relax. You got goals to achieve. What if this happens? What if that happens? It's like it interrupts, making it appear that the happiness, the peace, the love, the freedom is intermittent. It's not. It's the sense of self that's actually intermittent. It's the sense of self that's coming and going, appearing and disappearing. So try and see for yourself. You can just try and remember some of these experiences that you've had when you felt like you were just so natural and open and expansive and happy and content and fulfilled and at peace and relaxed and free and experiencing beauty and love. And just look for, where's that separate self? It's not there. And then it shows up after, which then makes you chase another moment. And it makes you think that it's the cup of tea and croissant that's making you happy. It's making you think that it's the massage that's making you feel at peace. It's making you think that it's the vacation that makes you feel free. It's not. That's actually your true nature. The happiness, the love, the peace, the freedom is your true nature. There's no object, there's no experience that's generating happiness, love, peace, and freedom. It's as if we are projecting our true nature onto an object, making it appear like the object is the source of love, happiness, peace, and freedom. But we are the source. You are the source of happiness, love, peace, and freedom. And it's when the mind-made sense of self, the separate self, the ego, the separate entity, it's like it dissolves in that source. And then you're tasting your true nature. And then it comes back. It's like it's resurrected. It comes back. And you see, if you continue to watch this I thought, this I feeling, you'll see how it's actually coming and going. And if you watch what it's coming and going out of, or what it's arising out of, and what it's disappearing back into, then you see it. You see that I thought is arising out of you. And therefore, if it's arising out of you, you cannot be that I thought. You cannot be that separate sense of self. You're seeing very clearly how it's coming and going, how it's arising out of you, and it's disappearing back into you. And when that's seen to be so illusionary as it is, then you see very clearly how it's false. And you discover that you are the truth. You discover your true self. And when you discover that you're the true self, and that separate entity is dissolved completely, surrendered, it's no more, it doesn't come back, then you're simply, at this point, there's anything that I say is not going to be accurate. It just is. You're just your true nature. You just are experiencing your true nature all the time. See you in the next one.